Welcome back to the Triple C Ranch featuring me, Captain Ron. Today I was going to talk a little bit about this Fantastic Four movie coming out and why it's going to fail miserably. Uh, these folks that got cast, this Joseph Quinn, Vanessa Kirby, they did a little interview. And why Disney lets these people talk? I don't understand because they're already probably going to have a crap movie, but as soon as they start yapping, it makes it 50 times worse. I mean, it's all over the internets, all over X. People are very disappointed with what's apparently about to happen when this movie comes out and we get subjected to it. Those that are going to bother to see it, I recommend against seeing this movie because it looks like it's just the typical Disney bait and switch where like in Snow White, where they did a little race swapping. I don't need no man, and I'm going to be the leader I want to be. Well, that's exactly what these pinheads are saying here. Um, this guy talking, I'm not sure what his name is some dope that's playing Johnny. Myself and Marvel were speaking about previous iterations of him, Johnny, because Johnny was always known as a bit of a womanizer, a smart mouth, kind of annoying, just he kind of a dick. And yeah, that's all right, whatever, that was his character. Apparently, they didn't like that. This guy and Feige, uh, he was branded as this womanizing, devil may care guy. But is that sexy these days? I don't think so. This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings. Ah, jeez, God, man, sweet fancy Moses. That's so you know what's coming. Um, oh my gosh! And then she chimes in, Kirby, on the Invisible Woman, who is Sue Storm. She went into it looking to figure out how to make her feel like less of a doormat than if she was actually if she actually was in the 60s. This is hard to even read this. If you played an exact 60s Sue today, everyone would think she was a bit of a doormat. So figuring out how to capture the essence of what she represented to each generation where gender politics were different and embody that today was one of the greatest joys of this. Translation, we're going to woke the crap out of this movie and you're going to like it because we're telling you that's the right thing to do. I'm Sue Storm and I don't need no man. I'm going to be the leader I was meant to be. So there you go. That right there is the reason not to see it. Not to mention, I mean, Sue Storm. Come on, she was. Where's she out here? There she is. You know, probably. She always looked like she was like 28, maybe something like that in the comics. Very attractive, blonde hair. Very physically fit. Married to Reed Richards, who there he is. Mr. Stretch, very he one of the I think maybe the most intelligent character uh, written in the comics in Marvel. So you've that's who they are. That's who they always have been. This is who they are now. You got this. She looks like she's 50. I mean, she's like twice as old as Sue should look. Um, I think I've seen her in a Mission Impossible movie or something. Pedro Pascal, and for love of Pete, do we have to keep seeing him in everything? They put him in everything. He doesn't look like a Reed Richards. And I don't care what his background is. I mean, I think I've read that he's Chilean or something like that. Whatever. He just doesn't look like him. I don't care if you're from Timbuktu. If you look like the comic Reed Richards, then cool. And I don't know who this guy is. That's the guy talking about Johnny not being a good, guy because he likes women apparently. So, and I don't know, whatever with that thing. Literally the thing. So there you go. That's why it's going to flop. And my guess is, this is the worldwide box office numbers for a bunch of the different Marvel movies. and uh, Captain America: Brave New Black Man is like apparently made 400 and something. They said against a budget of 180, and that's crap. I've heard so many other reports where it was closer to 400 million because they had to reshoot it 100 times. So that movie, it wouldn't even have broken even because you got to double that number for marketing. So even if you take this number, which is close to 200, and double it, it's almost there, right there. But they don't even get all that money. For those of you that don't maybe understand how that works, because if you make 400 million, the movie makes 400 million, then the studios, not studios, the theaters, they take half of that. They get half of that money. They split it. So and I think it's even worse in like China and places like that. I think they take even a bigger cut. So that that is not the money that they received at all. It's probably closer to like 200 and something. Again, supposedly 180, which that was probably closer to 400. Then you throw in marketing. That movie probably lost $400 million. I think this movie is going to be somewhere in between the Marvels, and that is embarrassing. That's super impact. Why did they spend 200? They admitted spending 270 on the Marvels. I refused to even see that movie. It was going to be so obviously bad that it wasn't even worth messing with. So I think it's going to fall probably somewhere between there and Ant Man and the Wasp. I'm guessing maybe 300 and something. It's going to be a bomb. They say that where's it at here? They haven't put it in here yet. I mean, Disney overspends on all these movies. It makes no sense why they spend so much movie money to make their movies. But it's going to be probably minimum 300, and it's probably going to make maybe 300 in the ticket sales. So that means that they're going to have to give about half that back, 150 million. So they're going to make about 150 million on probably at least a $300 million budget plus marketing, which is usually double. So about 600 million. They're probably going to lose. They could lose over 300 million on this movie. That's my guess. Because there probably were going to be more people going to see it until that article came out, and now everyone knows. Well, this is just typical Disney garbage. So let's not waste our. I mean, it's like what $100 to take your family of four to go see a movie these days. You know, it's just not worth it. It's not worth that financial risk. And they're not going to be anything like the comic book folks. They're going to be woke. They're not going to look like them. It's whatever. So that's the deal. The last bunch, I kind of liked them. Although Jessica Alba, I wasn't happy really with her casting because she didn't look, again, where's she at? Sue Storm? That doesn't look like Sue Storm. Thing was okay. The guy that played him was just okay. Reed Richards was pretty good. I mean, he looked like Reed Richards, pretty close. Chris Evans, didn't know who he was before that. I mean, they're supposed to be blonde. Do I have one with them both? Uh, I don't know. They're supposed to both be blonde, uh, Johnny, but he clearly is not. They're both dark hair people, so that's kind of but the movies were okay. I know a lot of people hated on them. I didn't hate them. I thought they were okay. I'm sure they're going to be way better than this junk that we're getting ready to have thrown at us now. Um, and it's just Hollywood can't help themselves. I was watching a reunion of the Breakfast Club the other day, just out of curiosity, because Emilio Estevez hasn't apparently wanted to hang out with these people for 40 years. It's the first time, basically, since the movie that he got together with them, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting. He seems like a good guy, but here is just a little clip of somebody asking a question like, "Could you do that movie today?" Blah 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 blah. Could you remake it? And Molly Ringwald, who has done nothing but trash these old movies about not being, proper, against today's thinking with gender, blah, blah, blah. And this is her answering a question from the crowd about that. And this is exactly why they do what they do. This is because they all think like this. Here, take a listen.
It's a great question. I personally don't believe in remaking that movie because I think this movie is very much of its time. It resonates with people today. But if you I believe in making movies that are inspired by other movies, but build on it and represent what's going on today. You know, this is very, you know, it's very white. This movie, you don't see a lot of different ethnicities. We don't talk about gender, not, you know,
Oh
none of
God.
that. And I feel like that really doesn't represent our world today. So I would.
Okay, enough of that. Shut up. That's that's why movies, in a nutshell, suck now. You have an occasional outlier like Ryan Reynolds doing his Deadpool thing. It was mostly all okay. Um, there was if you want to like, okay, well, was there DEI hires? Was there woke stuff? I guess maybe there was one. The leader of the in that movie, the leader of the I forgot what they were even called now. Um, the I can't think of the name of it now, but the person in charge of the people that were chasing Deadpool around, she was a person of color, had a very small role, but she was like the smartest one of the bunch, and you had the dumb white guy that was the evil guy that was trying to, you know, I don't know, like stop Deadpool and kill off a bunch of worlds and all that. I can't remember. It was kind of a dumb plot. But there was that. But that I thought, well, where'd this person come from? Why is she? Because it's always the smartest person in the room now is the person of color, the POC, as they like to say on the left. But that was no big deal. That didn't screw that movie up for me. But people with this kind of thinking in Hollywood are what ruins movies because that is their main goal. It's not story, it's not character, it's who you want to sleep with. That's the most important thing. And do you want to, are you cool with cutting off body parts of, your children? And that's all that is what is most important to those people. And so the movies just get worse and worse and worse. I don't know where it's going to end, but at some point you would think Disney, after flop. I mean, Snow White's probably set to lose 400 to 500 million. The Marvels. When we were looking at that list, there's a long list of movies that have just Ant-Man and the Wasp did terrible down here. You know, at some point they have to run out unless they're getting some sort of secret funding from the freaking government, which I would not be surprised at. So Elon Musk, get your team on that. Let's find out if we're funding this. So maybe that's why we're getting all this junk nonstop because they never run out of money because it's our money that keeps getting pumped back into them. Would not be surprised at that. So, but they're not the only ones. I'll wrap up in a second here, but this is the other big news that people are not happy with that they're remaking the Harry Potter shows, which I'm not really interested in that stuff anyways. But it's hard to avoid it because it's everywhere on X. But they cast, of course, a person of color to replace Snape, and he was played. I'm spacing his name all of a sudden here. Is his name in here? I don't see his name in there. But he was the guy I believe from um, was it Die Hard? I can't remember now. But I did watch it with the kids, and the guy was great, and everybody wanted Adam Driver from Star Wars, Kylo Ren, because he looks exactly like him. He would have been a perfect fit. But they go out and hire a person of color, and again, like in this tweet, it's where this person says not a blue check mark. It's hard to argue against Hollywood's race agenda when they cast a black man as Severus Snape, who is described in the books as a pasty white guy. So, and they continue. This is honestly ridiculous. Write black characters. Stop race swapping characters that have existed for 20 plus years. That is all we're asking for. Just stop the madness. Nobody. I don't think anybody cares if there's content that comes out that's you know heavy on a black cast or Latino, anything like that. It just make it good. I mean, it, I grew up in the '70s. One of probably two. I don't know. There was a lot of shows I liked in the '70s, but I would say right near the top was two or three shows that was almost all black cast. The Jeffersons, I freaking love that show. George Jefferson, still one of my favorite characters on TV. Good Times, J.J. Walker, um, and Sanford and Son. I mean, come on, that's a classic. So, and we all loved that. It seems like nobody cared as much in the 70s. Now it's like, oh my gosh, it's all it is now. So let's just stop it. Keep the characters the way they're supposed to be. Just put out good content for the love of Pete, and quit screwing with these classic characters because nobody wants to see that. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap up. Hope you're having a good day so far out there, and we will talk to you later here from Triple C Ranch.